Yeah, I'm ready.
Your time has started.
My name is Pontsho. I'm from Yellow Beast P2 Ltd, which is a clean tech company that makes and sells Nosetsa, which is a digital water use efficiency add-on for water management and crop production. Because globally we're experiencing climate change, which results in water shortages. And on top of that, much of the water that is allocated goes to agriculture. Despite calls for water use reduction across all sectors, food producers have a difficult task of increasing their food supply amidst the growing population with the same or less water resources. And on farms, which are food production units, specifically 1 hectare of land, experience natural evaporation, imprecise human-related over-irrigation, as well as leaching of water beyond the effective root depth. And we're proposing a precise solution that provides a machine learning service to provide a self-learning and self-regulating autonomous irrigation by using real-time data to avoid evaporation, prevent over-irrigation, and ensure plant health, save resources and costs. Now it works, you have a network of sensors out in the field communicating with a controller, picking up whether it's daytime or nighttime, and that information is fed to a valve that is plugged and played onto existing irrigation tech, like your center pivot and so forth, and that can deploy water as and when it's necessary. Because on a farmer can easily lose 1.5 millimeters of water per week per hectare, and that can amount to up to 750 kiloliters per year on each hectare, which is about 23,000 rands that can be lost. And the people who can otherwise benefit from this include your very large commercial farmers who have a significant water use footprint, tend to be the hardest hit by drought in terms of lost revenue and have a risk appetite for novel solution. And similar to them, but small in size and supplying to them at times is your next adjacent segment. And lastly, the subsistent farmer who is the breadwinner, so to speak, because they may have weak access to global markets, but they have strong access to local markets and it's quite labor intensive and can benefit from the water savings hypothesis that is promised here. In terms of the land that is already under irrigation, that's about 190,000 hectares, but the potential that can be developed for irrigation is about up to 2 million. And on the continent of Africa, you're looking at about 30 million hectares. To think that we're alone in this space is naive, because some companies already measure the plant growth stage of crops and inform water needs autonomously. But our product looks at the soil and crop root interface, as well as whether it's daytime or nighttime, to effect that change. Other companies use drones to measure crop health. And we're looking at what goes on below the ground and then use that with environmental data to provide now your machine learning platform. And while some other organizations use soil probes and sensors to prompt users to adjust their irrigation needs, ours relies on the machine learning platform to provide a self-learning and self-regulating method. And lastly, some other companies are platforms that look at satellite imagery to determine water availability, but we view them more as possible collaborators. I myself, I'm an engineering technician. I've collaborated with soil scientists and to develop the concept up to so far. My time is frozen.
No, you can go ahead. I have a timer, so I'll tell you.
Okay. And we're looking at now, when developing the machine learning platform, having coders, as well as people who will help us with collecting data points that can be used as references, and much later on, people in sales. We don't have products out sold as yet. However, we have gained some recognition in the form of grant and competitions. South African Brewers Kickstarter Ignite gave us a major cash injection some time ago, which then led to organizations like the Water Research Commission recognizing us. And then that also influenced organizations like the Technology Innovation Agency to sponsor our prototype development. And that also sort of gave us recognition in the form of press time and radio exposure. In terms of the business model, we are looking at a razor and blade business model where you buy the product itself and then you subscribe onto the machine learning platform service. And if the product is expensive, there's a rent to own method that we will follow. And in terms of the subscription, we're looking at it dualistically so that you can pay for the savings and you split that, as well as you subscribing for the platform. We're currently in July now, where we were anticipating to deploy at least 5 units that can be used to develop the machine learning platform. And we're hoping that we can multiply that number by 10x in the next year and another 10x in the following year. Thanks.
Our time is up. All right, thank you so much for that. We're gonna be inviting our jury members on stage. Those ones that have the invitation, then they can come up. We have Dr. Sumari, and we have His Excellency. So you can go ahead and start asking the questions. The time starts now.
Hi, Pontsho. Sumari here. Thank you for your presentation. Well done. I heard you let out a little sigh at the beginning, but you did well. So well done to you. My question to you, Pontsho, is really around the technology itself. I'd like to understand a little bit more proprietary and what isn't, and whether also there are any open source aspects to your innovation.
Okay. In terms of proprietary information, we are collaborating with a product developer and original equipment manufacturer. It's Vaal University of Technology in partnership with Tecmo Automation. They're in Vanderbilt Park in Gauteng. And that creates a protection around the development of this kind of technology itself. What we have is very versatile and also plug and play. And it's quite different in that it's an add-on onto existing technology. In terms of open source aspects, where we started with the concept, I personally had to learn things like Arduino and programmed it myself so that it can, when it's dark and it's dark outside and the soil is dry, it can activate a tap. I literally did that process on my own in the very early stages. And then I just had to scale that up and communicate that to an original equipment manufacturer. And in terms of, I'm seeing Mr. Reyes owns the IP. To be quite honest, when I engaged with the original equipment manufacturer, they did advise that there is not a significant amount of novelty. However, the fact that it is only able to be produced by a specific set of people makes that difficult to replicate by other people, unless if they have inside info.
So Pontsho, just to build on that, so you actually—
Sorry, go ahead, Dr. Sumari. Go
sorry,
right
you
ahead.
didn't, thank you. You didn't build the device yourself. Somebody else has built the device and you're using what they've built, and you have, though, developed software on your own that integrates with this device then to give you what you want. Is that correct?
To clarify, the things like soil probes, for example, we don't manufacture those. However, using that to inform the machine learning platform, as well as the housing that we have, the ones that you saw in the slides here, those are developed by the original equipment manufacturer.
Okay, so you are not selling intellectual property. What you are selling then is the actual, so your model is you make money from selling the subscription to be able to use this device. Is that correct?
And also on the water that you would have saved. So in other words, the money that you would have lost from some of the losses that you saved, that's where we make our money. And then I'm seeing another question in the chat.
Just quickly, so that I can be able to also address a few things here. Just two questions right off the top is.
No.
Okay.
What happened to my connection?
No, your connection is still fine.
Okay, I didn't hear anything from His Excellency there. Can you please repeat that?
I think he's having a challenge when it comes to connectivity.
Oh.
Sandile, do you want me to chat about?
There's another question. There's another question I'd like to answer as well, in terms of how do I get clients? And what the sales cycles are. The sales cycles are quite long. We have to wait for a farmer to say this is when we're planting. Then we can sort of feng shui our schedule into there so that we can deploy our products and then we go along with them. In terms of getting clients, in March, we validated using this method of communicating with a very big farming audience. At the African Agri Council, we managed to pitch, just as we pitch now, as I pitch now, to an audience. And the reception was quite well because there was a lot of enthusiasm and interest. Come on, now it's my page.
His Excellency is back. Your time is expiring, so can we get a question from him?
Hi, Sandile. Hi, Pontsho. Very, first off, great presentation you made, but my question would primarily be based on, you said you received a cash injection some time back. What did you use it on? And number two, how much are you looking for? And what are you going to use that for in the next 6 months, given that you are looking for a certain amount of money? Because you never did mention what you're looking for. And are you primarily given it an add-on? Is this more based on R&D?
Prof, I think he
went offline as well.
Yes, we just lost him.
Okay.
So I will try to obviously.
I'm back.
We can't.
Please.
He's back
His
online now.
Excellency, repeat the question. I didn't hear anything.
All right, Pontsho. I think time is up on this side, so I'll give Sandile the right to make the next move.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be fair for the other ones, but you didn't even get the opportunity to answer that question based on the limitations of technology and all of that. I think we just have to move on to the next phase where we have the jury members, evaluate your startup on the portal.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you once again for the opportunity. So,
no, great presentation. Thank you. Jury members, once you've done, you can then just inform us, as we're doing it.